Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive. This time we're diving deep into the world of Taiger, the Cuban reggaeton star.
All
And we had a request from a listener to take a look at this YouTube video called 10 Things You Didn't Know About Taiger.
right. Mm-hmm.
And I got to admit, even I was surprised by some of the things I learned about him.
Yeah.
So,
He's an interesting guy.
yeah, so get ready for a journey from Havana to Hollywood as we uncover the man behind the music and really try to figure out what makes Taiger tick.
Yeah, it's cool because when you hear his music, it's full of energy rhythm, that undeniable reggaeton vibe.
Right.
But his path to music stardom, it wasn't a straight line.
Yeah, no kidding. The video drops this bomb at the very beginning,
Yeah.
and it says Taiger, whose real name is Jose Manuel Carvajal Saldívar,
Right?
was actually an engineering student. Can
Wow.
you believe that? It's like those kitschy beats we're hearing today were once like formulas and equations in his head.
It's kind of wild, right? But actually, when you think about it, the skills you need for engineering problem solving,
Yeah. Yeah. Precision understanding, complex structures.
Uh-huh.
Those are all super important in music production too.
Right.
Especially reggaeton with all the layers of rhythms and sounds.
So you're saying there's like a method to the madness.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I can see the connection now.
Absolutely.
It makes you wonder if that engineering background gave him a different perspective when he's making music.
For sure. And, the video even mentions that he dropped out in his second year
What?
because he had more songs in his notebook than class notes.
Oh, wow.
So clearly music was calling him.
Talk about dedication, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the kind of passion that you need to really make it.
absolutely.
But how did he become Taiger? Was it like a carefully planned stage name or just something he picked up along the way?
Well, it actually started with El Principe.
El Principe.
Yeah, he was inspired by The Little Prince,
Oh, wow.
that book, and he even has a tattoo of it on his arm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? And when you think about The Little Prince, it's all about imagination and innocence and exploring new things.
Yeah,
And those themes, they really resonate with Taiger's journey.
it's true.
Hmm.
When you say that The Little Prince, it is all about seeing the world with fresh eyes, looking beyond the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me want to go back and listen to his early music and see if I can hear those themes.
Yeah, you should.
But okay, so El Principe, how'd he go from that to Taiger?
Well, as his music changed, so did his name,
Makes sense?
Taiger. It's actually a Cuban twist on the Dominican slang,
It's
Tigre.
Tigre.
Yeah, which means like a wise and confident man.
Okay.
So it kind of shows his growth, becoming bolder.
Like he's leveling up.
Exactly.
That's cool. And that evolution, it's really clear in his music too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't talk about Taiger without talking about Los Cuatro.
Oh, yeah, those cuatro were huge.
Huge hits like Fresi Chocolate and El Oro Es Mio.
Mm-hmm.
But then they split up, and then get this, after 12 years, they got back together.
Wow.
Their new single, Tu Dolor de Cabeza.
Yeah.
It's been a wild ride for the fans.
Yeah, those band breakups and reunions, they're always a roller coaster,
Oh,
for the
yeah,
artists and the fans.
That's a real one.
You've got the nostalgia,
Yeah.
the curiosity of, will it be as good as it was before?
Right, right.
But there's often something deeper, too.
Like what?
Emotional baggage, maybe. A need to revisit the past or find some closure.
Wow. So you're saying those years apart could have actually, fueled their creativity when they got back together.
Yeah, maybe they needed that time to appreciate what they had,
Yeah.
to see how they'd grown as individuals.
That's pretty deep.
It's fascinating to see how those dynamics play out in their music,
Right. And Taiger's story, it doesn't stop there.
It keeps going.
After Los Cuatro, his career really took off.
Absolutely.
That collaboration with Cosculluela and the Rottweilers label, that was huge.
Oh, yeah, that was big for him.
It definitely elevated his music.
Collaborate, they're essential in reggaeton. It gives you access to new fans.
Yeah.
You can experiment with different styles. Push the boundaries a bit.
And his debut album under that label was a massive success.
Massive.
And then Coronamos,
Oh, yeah.
featuring Cosculluela, Bryant Myers, Bad Bunny.
Wow.
It was like a who's who of the Latin music scene.
Definitely.
That song put him on the map.
Absolutely.
It solidified him as a major player.
And you mentioned Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
His name is everywhere these days. Even people who don't listen to reggaeton know who he is.
It's true.
It just goes to show you how those smart collaborations can really boost a career.
Yeah.
Get you in front of a global audience.
And it wasn't long after that that he signed a major contract with Sony Music,
Wow.
which took his reach even further.
Global domination.
Speaking of global reach, get this out. Taiger's music went beyond the charts and into video games.
What?
I was blown away when I found out that La Pegadera and Nada que ver con nada
Yeah.
were featured in Far Cry 6.
No way.
I know Far Cry 6.
That's a huge game.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's a whole other world for musicians to explore these days.
It is, and it's a really cool way for people to discover new artists.
Right.
You're playing the game, you're immersed in that world, and the music becomes part of the experience.
It's so true. And it's not just video games either.
Really?
Remember Fast and Furious 8?
Yeah.
His music was on that soundtrack too.
Wow.
Alongside other Cuban stars like Camila Cabello and Pitbull.
That's amazing.
Fast and Furious is a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it says a lot about how Latin music is breaking into the mainstream.
It's becoming part of the culture.
Yeah.
It's a really exciting time.
It is. But amidst all this success, Taiger was also facing some really tough personal challenges.
Oh.
In 2020, he lost both of his parents
Oh, that's terrible.
within a very short time.
No, I'm so sorry.
The video mentioned a song he wrote called Carta Magna
Mm-hmm.
as a tribute to his parents during that really difficult time.
Music can be so powerful in those moments.
You know, it makes me think about how music can be like therapy,
Yeah.
a way to deal with those really heavy emotions that are hard to express otherwise.
It's true. It can be a way to process grief and find some comfort.
Exactly. And speaking of expressing himself, Taiger is known for his tattoos,
Oh, yeah, he has a lot of them.
and there are a few that really stand out.
Which ones?
After the success of Cronimos, he got 3 facial tattoos.
Facial tattoos. Wow.
Yeah, crown the number 17 and a dagger with blood.
Wow, those are statement pieces.
They're hard to miss.
That's for sure.
Each one tells a story.
You know,
What do they represent? Well, the crown symbolizes his success.
makes sense.
The number 17 is for his devotion to San Lazaro.
Okay.
And the dagger with blood represents the battles he's fought.
Deep.
They're definitely not subtle.
No, they're not.
But it shows he's not afraid to be bold and express himself.
You know, in a culture where tattoos can be taboo,
Yeah.
he's really challenging those norms.
It's like he's saying, this is me, take it or leave it.
Exactly. And it makes him stand out.
It does, and it also shows a lot of confidence, a sense of self-acceptance.
Yeah, he's owning his story.
It makes you think about those tattoos as a visual representation of his music, too.
How so?
Ambition, spirituality, resilience,
Yeah.
this willingness to fight for what he believes in.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it all comes together.
That's like a puzzle.
It is, and it's a puzzle that's still being put together.
His story's not over yet.
No, not at all.
Oh,
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface of Taiger's world.
there's so much more to discover.
There is, and this has been such a fascinating dive into his life so far.
It really has. He's an incredible artist.
He is from engineering student to global music icon.
Yeah.
He's definitely defied expectations.
He's paved his own way.
He has. And it's clear he's got a lot more to give to the world.
I can't wait to see what he does next.
I know, me too. But for now, we're going to have to pause our deep dive.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll delve even deeper into Taiger's personal life and explore what the future might hold for this multi-talented artist. All right, we are back and still deep diving into the world of Taiger.
Still going strong.
I've covered so much already, from his start in engineering to his global hits.
Yeah, it's incredible how his career has taken off.
It is. And when I think about his music being in Far Cry 6 and Fast and Furious 8,
Yeah.
it really hits me how big his reach is.
Those are huge franchises.
Yeah, and it just shows how Latin music is really breaking through.
It's not just a niche anymore.
Not at all. It's captivating audiences worldwide.
And it's not just about the music itself,
What do you mean?
It's the energy, the stories, the emotions.
Yeah.
They connect with people on a deeper level.
I read somewhere that Fast and Furious 8, they really wanted to highlight Cuban music and culture.
Oh, that's cool.
Having Taiger alongside Camila Cabello and Pitbull,
Yeah.
it was a deliberate choice to showcase that energy.
It's a smart move,
Oh.
It appeals to a wider audience. And it adds something special to the soundtrack.
It does. And those video game placements, especially in Far Cry 6,
Yeah.
which is set in Cuba,
Right.
that speaks to a deeper level of cultural representation.
Absolutely. It's about showcasing the real Cuba
Yeah.
beyond the stereotypes.
And it gives a platform to artists like Taiger, who are changing what Cuban music can be.
Pushing those boundaries.
Exactly. Speaking of pushing boundaries, let's go back to that name change from El Principe to Taiger.
Oh, yeah. That was a big shift.
It wasn't just a name change.
It was a reflection of his growth as an artist.
El Principe had that youthful energy,
Yeah.
that sense of potential.
The innocence.
But El Tiger is different.
It's bolder, more assertive, more in control.
It's like he's evolving with his music.
Exactly. His music has become more experimental, more layered.
He's taking more risks.
He's not afraid to try new things.
It's like he's shedding that old skin and stepping into this new persona,
yeah.
one that demands attention.
And it's interesting how he used the Dominican slang Taiger,
Uh-huh.
but gave it that Cuban twist.
It's like he's acknowledging his influences while still staying true to his
The
roots.
fusion of cultures.
Yeah, it creates something fresh and exciting.
He's a true innovator.
He is. And, even with all this success,
Mm-hmm.
he still had to deal with some really tough personal challenges.
What do you mean?
Losing both of his parents in such a short time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That had to be devastating.
Life can throw some curveballs,
No matter how successful you are.
It's how you deal with those challenges that really defines you.
And the video mentioned his song Carta Magna
Yeah.
as a tribute to his parents during that time.
I can only imagine how difficult that must have been.
It makes you think about the power of music.
As a way to heal,
Yeah, like therapy, a way to process emotions that are hard to put into words.
music has that power.
It does. It can tap into our deepest emotions.
And sometimes it can help us make sense of the things that we don't understand.
For El Taiger writing, Carta Magna could have been a way to honor his parents.
And to cope with his grief.
It's like channeling those raw emotions into something beautiful and meaningful.
Exactly, something that can connect with others who are going through similar experiences.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest times, there can still be light.
There's always hope.
And speaking of expressing himself,
Yeah.
we can't forget about those tattoos.
Especially those facial tattoos.
They're hard to miss.
They're definitely statement pieces.
The crown, the number 17,
Yeah.
the dagger with blood.
Each one tells a story.
It's like he's wearing his heart on his sleeve.
Or in this case, on his face.
Right. He's not afraid to show the world who he is, what he believes in.
He's proud of his journey.
And in a culture where tattoos can be seen as rebellious, he's challenging those norms.
He's making his own rules.
It takes a lot of confidence to do that.
It does.
And it also shows self-acceptance.
He's comfortable in his own skin.
And that authenticity is what connects with people,
It's about being true to yourself.
even when it's not what's expected.
Exactly. In a world that's so focused on image,
Yeah,
it's refreshing to see someone who's just being themselves.
flaws and all.
And it makes you think about those tattoos as a visual representation of his music, too.
How so?
The ambition, the spirituality, the resilience.
Right, the willingness to fight
Ugh.
for what you believe in.
It's all there.
It's all connected.
It's like we're seeing a glimpse into his soul.
It is, and his story is still being written.
There's so much more to come.
I'm excited to see what he does next.
Me too. He's a true innovator.
He's not afraid to experiment, to explore new sounds, to push boundaries.
He's constantly evolving.
And that's what makes him so fascinating.
It's inspiring to see someone who's so dedicated to their craft.
And speaking of personal journeys,
Yeah.
we haven't even touched on his relationship with his fiancée, Alessandra.
Oh, that's right.
They seem so happy together.
They do.
It makes me wonder how that personal happiness influences his creative process.
Love and support can be incredibly powerful for an artist. It can bring stability, inspiration.
It can fuel their creativity.
Exactly.
I'm curious to explore that deeper, but for now we're going to have to pause our deep dive.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll delve into the personal side of El Taiger's life
All right.
and explore what the future might hold for this multi-talented artist. We are back, and it's amazing how much we've learned about El Taiger in this deep dive.
We have gone from engineering school to global hits, from band breakups to video game soundtracks,
It's been a wild ride, and through it all, he's stayed true to himself.
to his roots and his artistic vision.
Absolutely. And speaking of staying true to himself, I want to learn more about his personal life.
Yeah.
Before the break, we touched on his relationship with his fiancée, Alessandra.
They seem so happy,
They do. It's great to see that he's found love and stability.
especially in the crazy world of the music industry.
It makes me think that personal happiness has to be a big inspiration for his music.
Yeah, when you're feeling grounded and supported,
Yeah.
it frees you up to be more creative, to take risks.
I wonder if we'll hear those themes of love and happiness in his future music.
It's definitely possible. Artists are always evolving,
Hmm.
drawing inspiration from their lives and their relationships.
Maybe we'll see a softer side of El Taiger.
Maybe so.
I'm excited to see what he comes up with next. But before we wrap up, we have to talk about those facial tattoos.
Oh, yeah, those are hard to miss.
They're bold, they're eye-catching, I keep thinking about them.
They're not just decorations, they're telling a story.
We talked about the crown and the dagger, but that number 17 for San Lazaro, that really caught my attention.
Yeah, San Lazaro is a key figure in Santeria.
Can you tell us more about that?
He's often associated with healing compassion, overcoming adversity.
It's like he embodies El Taiger's journey.
Right. It adds a whole other layer of meaning to that tattoo.
It shows how he's drawing on his heritage and his beliefs,
Our beliefs can be a source of strength.
especially during tough times.
Absolutely.
And it speaks to his authenticity.
He's not afraid to show the world who he is.
So what can we take away from all of this? What have we learned about El Taiger?
His story is a reminder that success isn't a straight line.
It's about finding your own path.
Embracing your talents and staying true to yourself.
It's about perseverance.
About connecting with your roots.
And about what can happen when you combine passion with hard work
And the power of music to connect people.
to inspire us.
Yeah.
We've learned so much about El Taiger today, his journey from engineering to music,
The meaning behind his tattoos.
the depth of his artistry, and the strength of his spirit.
It's been a great deep dive.
It has, but now we want to hear from you what resonated with you the most.
What surprised you?
What are your favorite El Taiger songs?
Share your thoughts on social media.
Use the hashtag the deep dive.
And be sure to check out his music.
You won't be disappointed. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Until next time.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep the music playing. We'll see you on the next deep dive.